That's the age of consent under 18 and 40 states, the people that just kind of want to sneak around a little bit. You know what I mean? But they ain't trying to be attached. And then you got all the rest of the population, a good part of the general population that's just infatuated with children. They're not going to have sex with them. They're not going to marry them. But they have a level of infatuation that they're not addressing. And this is how I know they have it. Because they start accusing innocent people of doing things with children and they're not doing it. That's how I know you're infatuated, because you put an innocent person beneath children that they haven't even touched. You're infatuated. I don't care. A human being is a human being to me. You know, I'm fight for I don't look at a child as an adult, sexually speaking, but a human being is a human being. Bottom line. Either way you slice the cake, a human being is a human being. That's how I see it. Which means, you know, I'm not in love with children. Okay, it's one thing to love children. It's one thing to be in love with children. People need to check that. Am I in love with children? Because you know what I found out? Now here's the punchline, guys. Here's the punchline. All these people that wind up getting caught up with children, what were they doing first? They were hanging around children. Right or wrong? How many times has it been teachers? Obviously, a teacher loves children, but then they begin to be in love with children. Now you see what I'm saying? You would think that a teacher would rather die than have sex with a child. Rather die, man. It's their worst nightmare. You deal with students all year round. That's all your life is about. If you're noble, that's your worst nightmare. Like something you dream about. Oh my God, I had sex with a student in my dream. I wanted to die. So how do they go from how can they go from why do they end up having sex with them then? Because they fell in love with the children. They became infatuated with the children. I'm giving you examples. All these coaches just found another coach. I think she was a woman coach. Yep. Coaching girls. She loved the children. And then slowly she fell in love with the children. And it's safe to say, here's the punchline, there was an infatuation. There was an infatuation. Okay, it's one thing to love children, you coach children, you want to groom them to be good people. That's one thing. And then there's infatuation, which makes you fall in love with them. You don't be supposed to be falling in love. You know what I mean, too. It's one thing to fall in love with a child, and it's innocent. You know what I mean. But that's still love. That ain't romantic. There's two different definitions. Okay, some people say, we just fell in love with Johnny when we adopted him. That's innocent, right? We just fell in love with him. He just fit right in. That's innocent. But you're a basketball coach. And then you love children, obviously. But then you got infatuated. You kept emphasizing and thinking, and I believe some of them don't get around adults. They don't get around real adults. And then they just become engulfed in a child world and they begin to get infatuated. I'm showing you your problems. Police ain't gonna tell you this, are they? You ever heard of police talk this intelligent? All they can do is throw the book at you. They can't tell you why it's happening. Joe Biden can't tell you why it's happening, can he? Any of these military strategists gonna take the time to tell you why that's happening? Huh? Yeah. See where I'm at? I'm doing what needs. This is my job. That's why we're necessary, and many of you are not. We're doing necessary work. They start hanging around these children. Look at the guy Elmo, the Elmo guy, Sesame Street dude, man. Man, you're the coolest guy to the children. How in the world you get caught up doing something with him? Because he got infatuated with children. It's you look, guys, we gotta grow up. We can't be infatuated with children. I'm sorry to tell you, you can't be. You can't be. It's a dangerous thing. And before you know it, you might slip up and you find yourself doing something. You cannot be infatuated with children. You can't be. More times than not, am I right or wrong? It's these teachers getting caught up, right? All the time. How ironic. How ironic that the sex predators wind up being teachers, school teachers. How does that happen? I'm going to tell you exactly how it happens. They begin to get infatuated with children. Why you think I'm talking reckless and just hateful? What I'm saying makes sense. They get infatuated with it. How else can you explain teachers who look in the face of the parents, do something like that? So it doesn't necessarily come from an evil place. That's a 7. It doesn't come from a place where they want to kill the children. Right? They don't want to beat them up or harm them or stab them or shoot them, right? They just want to have sex with them, right? I didn't say just have sex with them. They want to have sex with them, right? You know what happened? They went from loving the children, looking at the parents, and they became overly engulfed in these emotions, and they became infatuated. They became infatuated. And then from infatuation, they went to having sex, to pedophilia. They went to pedophilia. They went from infatuation to pedophilia. I would imagine some people stay at infatuation and just masturbate. They're infatuated. They even school teachers. They just masturbate. So if teachers are getting caught with the children, you don't think some of them are going home and masturbating with their dildos and toys and all the stuff they got? Use your brain. You don't think none of that's happening? See, the truth of society is we're not mature in sexuality as we think we are, because we don't address the real issues. We don't address the real stuff that happens until it's too late. Then we want to address it. But while it's going on, no one wants to talk about none of this stuff. We either go to these extremes. We want to talk about it after it happened, or we want to go around accusing people. You ain't mature enough as a man to go out here and tell people with a straight face what actually is happening and how it's happening. You can't even do it because you ain't even mature enough. You start talking about sex in any form of fashion, you start blushing. You got a sheepish smile. You can't hold a straight face and talk about sexual issues. You can't hold a straight face and talk about sex with adults, let alone children. This is how weak your community is. And from that weakness, they preyed on you. And now they got 44 states married children. You want me to tell you how they did it? Because you never matured in the conversation of sexuality. You never matured as a community. You can't even talk about it with a straight face. Your conscience is too weak to talk about this. So who looks like the predator, me or you? You can't even have conversations about it. That's the sign that you're strong and pure. I can talk about it, but you can't. And that's why they got over on you. And now you got 44 states marrying children. How they do that? Because you was never able to have the conversation. You was never able to talk about how this stuff happens. These people are infatuated with children. And they get caught up in it. I'm not saying every one of them is a bona fide pedophile. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that they got caught up in infatuation. Especially these loving, caring women, and I'm not trying to be funny, but the white, caring white women, their culture brings them up a certain way where they're very docile and nice, and I'm just being real. And so they become a school teacher, and they're like, oh, no. You know I'm right. All my white female teachers were really docile and sweet and nice. All of them was. Even the older ones. They were all nice and docile and sweet. And see, right there, it's a thin line right there. Now, you might have some students, like I told you, all children are not innocent. Some of them might find you attractive. They might have a crush on you. And then you're not nice enough to draw the line, now are you? So they kind of flirt with you and you let it happen. And next thing you know, now you getting infatuated. Boom. Because you too nice. That's why I tell people you can't be nice to a fault. You nice, when you too nice that it becomes that you're being faulted for something, then you're too nice. If it's a fault, if it takes away from yourself or someone you love, or you're faulted for this niceness, then you're nice to a fault. I'm not nice to a fault. I don't care how you feel. If I know what you're doing is crossing the line, excuse me, I'm going to let you know it. I put children in their place before. I done it. A child tried to get in my bed one time. I was staying with my girlfriend, and her sister children, I guess, spent the night. They had to have, because it was early in the morning. And the child kept trying to get into bed to get to the aunt, which was my girlfriend at the time. And I had to stop her, and I said, hey, hold up. Now get out this bed. And I was only 28 at the time. I was only 28, and I was that bad. I was that tough. I said, no, you get out this bed. Because see, if you're trying to be too nice, that's when the infatuation comes in. When you know you shouldn't be having children in no compromising situation. You shouldn't be having children in no getting up in your bed and nah. And you just waking up and you still got a hard on. You still almost got a hard on from what you because you woke up. Men know what I'm talking about. And you got a kid all rolling around when you at no. See right there? See, that's where the infatuation creeps in. That's where it creeps in. You explain to me why always it's these people that's around the kids that's getting caught up. They should be the ones that's dying for them. Pretty sure these NYPD cops was infatuated with this girl, wasn't they? Well, why would two cops pursue the same girl? There was some type of infatuation. You supposed to be doing, why are you even at the program? Don't you supposed to be doing cop stuff? Don't you supposed to be on the beach somewhere? So why are you even there? Oh, you checking in with her, huh? Checking to see how she's doing. And see, from that came infatuation. You shouldn't have been doing all that excessive checking in with that girl. You start doing it more and more, and maybe she said something, because obviously she didn't stop you. Obviously she gave you a hand job. You didn't break her neck to do it. You didn't put your cop gun to her head. So how she wound up giving you a hand job? Because see, both of them was with it. Come on now, let's keep it 100. That girl had to be halfway with it. How she jacking him off in the cop car? If you were scared of a cop pulling out his cop, you would beat that window down. You would be straight. You'd be screaming and hollering. And how is she coming to his house in the middle? The other cop, how is she coming to his house in the middle of the night? She is kind of with it. He didn't come pick her up from her house. She came in the middle of the night with the other one. So you know what that tells me? That she had some kind of conversation with them while they was in that program where she was kind of flirting, and they became infatuated. I guarantee you those cops will tell you that. There was some kind of conversation that they held while she was in that program called the Explorer, and it was inappropriate, and she said something, or she flirted in a way that a man flirts with a woman, or that they said something and she responded in a way as a woman, something like that. She responded as a woman, yet she flirted as a woman. Something made you see her sexual. And I guarantee you it was conversation. Or you just didn't guard your mind when you was around her. But then you didn't have to be around her, so what was it? What was it? It was probably a conversation. More likely anything, because you know other eyes are on you if you seen her at a youth program. So you ain't going to be checking her out like that. I would imagine not. But you can have a conversation where no one really knows what y'all talking about. And I bet it's right there where you became infatuated with her. And then you went from infatuation to pedophilia. Why is it always these people that interact with the kids? It ain't people like me. I live an adult life. Ain't no children ever been in my apartment, ever. And I've been in this apartment over a year now. Not one child has said, not for any reason, family, friends, none of that. Ain't one child stepped over my threshold into my apartment, ever. Not one foot, not a hand, not their clothes, not nothing. I don't have an infatuation with children. Your community has proven to. I just showed you the teachers getting caught up all the time. I showed you the coaches. I showed you the elbow guy. I showed you the cops, people that's involved with your children, the ones you trust the most. Them the ones doing it. And why? Why would you? How does that happen? Because they become infatuated. Yes, this is what it is. This is the step that you didn't think about. This is the step that you don't pay attention to. Yeah. I put a boundary between me and children. Ain't gonna be no infatuation, buddy. Tell you that. I don't care. It ain't gonna ever happen. You know what I'm saying? So see, that's the difference. Everybody wants to point fingers. Well, why are they doing it? You don't have the answers. I do. I have the answers. I'm telling you why it's happening. I'm telling you exactly why it's happening. You put all these images up of children. This is another thing you do. See, you need to understand psychological war, psychological repetition too. You got all these children images that you put in these commercials over and over. You putting this in the brains of people. The same commercial. How many times do you see the same commercial a day? Now we're talking about created infatuation. Programmed infatuation, if you will, because they already programmed. Well, safe to say that the American system is programmed for infatuation with children because they got 44 states marrying children. So now you putting it all in the commercials and stuff. Now you trying to program us with the disease, trying to make us think like you think. Well, you got children commercials running around like everybody think that's cool all the time. I don't mind a child commercial here and there, but man, this is ridiculous how it is now. You don't even have adult masculine commercials. Do you remember when you used to see a masculine man in a commercial? Wow, think about it. When the last time have you seen a masculine, muscular man in a commercial? On the regular. In fact, where has the masculine man went in commercials? Think about it. You don't even see like Mr. T type characters and Hulk Hogan type characters. In the 80s, we had those type of commercials. Hulk Hogan and Road Warriors and Arnold Schwarzenegger. You don't even see masculine men like that anymore. I know I'm right. And the lack of masculinity is what causes this problem too. See, the man is the gatekeeper. The man make you check yourself. The man, you see the image of the man and make you check yourself. You don't see no man, everybody get absent-minded. Including the women, just in case you think the women ain't doing that. See, women, they the masters of pedophilia because women are beautiful. You think a cop is worried about how a woman's body language is when she comes into the store with children? He's worried about yours. He's not worried about hers, though. She's pretty with a big booty, long hair, smiling, a look he ain't never seen before. And you think he's worried about how she is looking at the children. She's a pedophile. She don't want him. She wants children. But he doesn't know any better because she got all this makeup on. She looks so hot and so cute. Titties everywhere, butt everywhere. He ain't thinking about that. And half of your society is the same way. If it's a woman, she ain't worried about a pretty woman. Oh, she probably thinks she's either pretty or she's envious of her, which throws her mind totally off about pedophilia. Boom. Pretty women go right under the radar all throughout your society. Police don't care about it. That's the main one need to be checking everybody out. She gets under his radar. Most of the people at these restaurants, some of the kids, young women probably even have crushes on her. That's probably how it starts. Oh, I want to look like her. So they're not thinking anything about her being a pedophile. You got managers think she's cute. Man, under that radar, there's no one to check her. That's why beautiful women can be the masters of pedophilia. Because no one her beauty camouflages her pedophilia. How many people suspect a hot woman of being a pedophile? Hello? Anybody suspect a hot chick being a pedophile? But no matter how good the man looks, he can be a pedophile, right? That's what I'm saying. That's the gender discrimination in your community. There's women doing pedophilia stuff all the time. All the time. This one white woman, she was in a correctional facility, and there was two 16-year-old kids. One 16, one 17, I think one 18. They were underage. She had sexual. She got them out of jail. What you think they did? Come on now, be 100. You think they just rolled around and smoked weed all day? And she a white girl and they 3 black dudes. I'm not saying either one who's going to be the aggressor. But let's be real. You think she breaking 3 dudes out of jail for nothing? They ain't going to have no sex and she a young white woman. Man, come on. And once again, it's somebody that's around your children. Women have been getting away with it for a very long time. I've heard very questionable stories. I've been through questionable stuff myself with women. Women can easily get away with it because they can smile. A man try to smile, they're like, dang, what are you smiling about? Dang, he's smiling mighty hard. We get held to a double standard. A woman pedophile, she can come into the room, start smiling, and y'all don't know nothing. She just starts smiling. That's what women do. She comes into a room, starts smiling, y'all don't even think nothing. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I've been meaning to do more on women pedophilia. I just haven't gotten around to it. But I've been that's another project I want to get into. Because the most famous woman pedophile in this country, I mean the most famous pedophile period is a woman in America. That woman, Mary Lavallo, something like that. Mary, it's French. She got a French last name. Anyway, it's the white woman that was married to the Asian Filipino kid. And she was on Oprah back in the day, because Oprah wanted to know how this woman think. Now, see, that's a double standard right there. Oprah is not going to invite, and this is no disrespect to her, but she's not going to really invite a man pedophile and care about how he thinks and be fascinated with how he thinks. Who cares? It's despicable. It's not something, she shouldn't have fame to that, or it appeal to her, or any appeal to it, or make her feel comfortable with her behavior. Well, if you get invited to Oprah, you're not necessarily being scalded for your behavior, now are you? I don't care how you look at it. If she's the first woman doing it or whatever, so what? She doesn't deserve to be on a talk show and, come on. That's not necessarily being scolded. Let's just look at it like that. And so the most famous pedophile in this whole country was a white woman. Did you know that? She's the most, go Google it, the most famous pedophile, American pedophile. Go Google it. Go Google it. See, I don't have any problem with sex. I'm a very sexual person, right? That's probably why I'm able to talk about this. Because I'm very mature in my sexuality. I have no problem with hiding it. I have no problem with expressing it. I never have. I never will. I question people who don't have a sense of sexuality. What are they doing? I'm talking about just nothing. And God made you to do it. So you can't act like it's ungodly, by nature. Everybody, I tell you one thing about sex, everybody wants to get off. If you're still fairly young, everybody still want to get off for the most part. We're trying to work to it. Whether getting married or something, we're trying to work to getting off. And if you say, well, I don't need no man in my life, I don't need no woman. I bet most of you are jacking off. Come on. You might not do it every day. And you know, let's be 100. And I hope you don't, if you don't want to do it, you don't do it. But let's be 100. Most of the men that do it, I mean, most of the men that are practicing abstinence, you know, you're abstinent, but you're jacking off 2 or 3 times a day. Women will say, well, I've been abstinent. I practiced abstinence for 11 years. But you got 5 dildos and 3 vibrators. So you still busting it open. Okay. I don't want to be graphic, but you're still doing what you do. Basically, you're still going along with the feelings. You're still feeding your cravings. But then the women will come out here and act all pious like, well, I'm not having sex with anybody. But your vagina is stretched a million different ways. You might as well be. You're still stretching your vagina open. You're still getting the feeling. And when you say, well, I haven't been with any man, most men feel that means you're not feeling anything. And that's not the case for most of these people. They're still feeling something. They're still practicing some form of sexuality. With a man or without one. And that's what I'm talking about. So that's why when people walk around self-righteous, and sex is, what I like about this category is that everybody got to do it. Yeah, you want kids, you got to have sex, buddy. I'm sorry. You got to go down. You got to go down in that.